Hi, I'm Kate Gwinnett, the author of the Cardiff Bay Property blog and Sales and Lettings Director at Northwood Cardiff. Now, with the EU referendum fast approaching on the 23rd of June, and the newspapers and the media seem to be quite heavily focused on the central London property market and how it might impact them, I thought it would just be interesting just to have a look at how an in or an out vote might possibly affect the property market here in Cardiff. So I think initially in the run-up, the in camp are likely to be trying to scare property owners with forecasts of negative equity. And the out camp are more likely to appeal to the 20-somethings who have been priced out of the property market with the era of apparently new expensive properties around the corner, if we believe what the central London and developers are saying about the bottom of the property market likely to drop out. I think as well, initially again into the run-up, we might see something similar to what we saw in last year's general election. With short-term uncertainty in the country, people are less likely to put off some big decisions, like some big monetary purchases, like purchasing a property. However, if we actually look back at the figures in the 4 months before the general election last year, property prices in Cardiff did actually increase ever so slightly, around about 3%, and that was even with the thoughts of possibly having the Home Parliament. I think if the UK opt to leave the EU, there might be some noteworthy changes. I think if the country decides to stay in the EU, then we are likely to see maybe some short-term changes, but the status quo of the Cardiff property market is likely to return quite quickly, whereas a vote to leave may seem to see some more changes. I think that the principal menace to the Cardiff property market is the possible variation in the upwards direction in interest rates, which may cause mortgage prices to go up quite swiftly. But then again, if we look at landlords, actually 2 out of 3 every landlords actually don't require a mortgage, so obviously not necessarily going to affect them. So I think whatever the outcome be on the 23rd of June, I think that long term it's unlikely to have a major impact on the Cardiff property market. Yes, in the short term there may be some volatility, but long term, and as we know, property investment is a long-term strategy, it's hopefully unlikely to have a major impact. Want any of my own opinions or advice, feel free to have a look at my cardiffbaypropertyblog.com or pick up the phone on 02920 301 141, or you can email me at kategwinnett@northwooduk.com. Thanks.